Welcome, Corona Cafe. As you can see, I'm inside. It's dark out and we have rain in the forecast for the next few days. So you are stuck in the house with me. I'm going to offer another recumbent yoga practice today. So we'll be mostly on our backs with just one very short segment on our stomachs. So my hope is that this is a good practice for days when you're not well enough to be out running errands or walking, but you still want some movement in your body. So, we do need one prop this time. So if you have like a yoga or exercise strap, that's ideal. If not, anything long and relatively sturdy, like a tie, a long belt, maybe even a scarf could work. I'd say you want it to be a good 3 feet or so in length so that you can wrap it around one foot with your leg up in the air and still be able to hold onto it with your hands down low. So hopefully you have some sort of piece of fabric in your house that will do the trick. We'll come down onto our backs and just start out in any position that's comfortable. So I'm gonna just let my feet come wide, my knees fall together, and my eyes shut. And we're just going to take a couple of intentional breaths here before we begin moving our bodies. So notice the sensation of the air coming in and moving out of your body. Noticing how each exchange of air connects you with the space and the world around you. Letting your body be heavy against the support of the ground. Then blinking the eyes open if they're shut. We're just going to extend both arms overhead and let the wrists just make some little circles in each direction. The shoulders are still heavy against the earth. We're just moving our wrists in some gentle circles, one way and then the other. And then we'll let the arms fall down heavy to the earth. Go ahead and lift one leg up, moving your ankle in a few little circles in each direction, maybe 3 each way. You might get some pops or cracks. Relaxing the leg down when you're done. Other leg comes up. Finding those little circles. On a really rough day, when you're not even up to a short yoga video like this, you can always wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll your hands and your ankles, and just let yourself settle into those sensations. So we're going to wake up the pelvis and stretch the low back in the process. So these are called pelvic clocks, is one name for them, like a clock and a pelvis combined. And you see it more commonly in Pilates. So what we're thinking about is we're imagining a clock resting here on the low belly. And if the belly button is 12 o'clock, then the pubic bone would be 6 o'clock. And we want to tilt the pelvis back and forth. So it goes to 12 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. So to tip to 12 o'clock, I'm flattening my low back into the earth. The tailbone tucks under so that it actually lifts off the ground. And then I'm going to 6 o'clock. The low back arches upward and the tailbone presses down into the earth. So 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It might resemble twerking just a little bit, but the focus is on creating movement and stability in the pelvis. So let your breath flow naturally as your body flows back and forth, 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And if one of those places feels better for your low back or feels healing and you want to linger a little longer, that's just fine. The low belly is gently engaged here. And now we're going to find 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So imagine that each of those hip bones represents one of those times. So first I'm pressing down my right hip bone, and that's my 3 o'clock. My left hip bone and left buttocks lift slightly. And now I'm shifting, pressing my left hip bone toward the earth so that my right hip and buttocks rise slightly. And now back and forth, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Continuing to breathe. As we're spending more time being sedentary, perhaps, than in our usual life, we can begin to lose some of that strength and mobility in the pelvis, the hips, the glutes, the low back. And that can set us up for some issues. So just creating this movement and encouraging mobility here can be helpful. Now, you can continue with that. If you want to try a little adventure, see if you can move in a circle through the entire clock. Circling all the way through your clock. And then switching directions. So you're switching which parts of your back and butt are pressing into the earth, just moving in a circle, a wave-like motion. Finding stillness when you're ready. And then let's take the arms out to a T. Lift the feet, the knees stay together. Big inhale. Exhale, drop the knees over to the right. Take your gaze to the left hand for a recline twist. Now the more you can soften that left shoulder into the earth, the deeper the twist. Deepest is not always best, so find what feels best for you. And breathe. When you're ready, use an inhale to invite those knees back up. Slowly exhaling them over to the other side. The gaze comes to the opposite hand. Anchor that right shoulder into the ground as best as you can. And notice your breath. In this twist, maybe it feels a little different. Maybe your inhale isn't quite as full. Simply notice without judgment. We'll inhale the knees back up to center. Plant the feet. And we're going to give a little bit of love to our low bellies, our abdominal muscles. So go ahead and straighten the right leg out. And let the toes point out just a little bit like a ballerina. So the toes are pointed, the foot opens outward a little. Inhale, and then on your exhale, slowly lift that leg straight up so that your knees come to about the same height. And down again. So inhale here, exhale up and down. Inhale on the ground, exhale. Up and down. Now in some of our other yoga practices, we've talked about that engagement of the low belly. So really feeling the ribs pull together, the navel pull back toward the spine. We're looking for that same engagement here. We'll just lift and lower a few more times, aiming for about 10. But if you've got less in you today, listen to that. If it feels better to change the pace of your breathing, feel free to do so. Listening to your own body. Relaxing that leg down for a moment when you're done on that side. Then bending the knee, planting the foot. We'll extend the right leg now. Point the toes like a ballerina. The foot opens a little. Big inhale, exhale to lift and lower. So it's a shorter inhale, long exhale. Again, moving with your breath about 10 times. The low belly is engaged, it's working. Those are our postural support muscles that are working to support us here too. But the face can be relaxed. The neck can relax. The shoulders can relax. In yoga, we're always looking for this balance between effort and ease. Noticing where the effort needs to go and how much is required. And noticing where we can soften. I'm a terrible counter. You know this by now. So if you've reached about 10, or your body lets you know you're ready to stop, then just relax that foot down. Let's go ahead and lift both legs straight up into the air. Flex the feet so the heels press up toward the sky, feeling the backs of your legs, the hamstrings. And then we'll relax the feet and let the right knee bend deeply so that your hand can reach to grab the outside of the right foot or maybe just the right ankle. We'll let the left leg relax down. This is a half happy baby pose. I've always felt like for it to truly be called happy baby pose, we should have to put our toes in our mouths, but I'm glad that that's not required. So we're opening the right hip. If there's any pain in the knee, back out a little, maybe holding onto the shin instead. If you'd like a little more opening on the front of this left leg, then think about pressing your left heel into the earth and then shifting your weight a little to the right, as if you're rolling onto your right side. So the left heel is still pressing down. We're rolling a little bit to the right to deepen the stretch across the front of the left thigh. And we are still breathing. Come back to center if you've rolled a little. We'll switch legs. So the hand finds the outside of the left foot now. The right leg can extend long. One side is likely to feel different than the other. This is my stubborn side. So if you have to adjust, shake things out, feel free. Finding your place, your sweet spot, where you're getting that balance between effort and ease, because we want to stretch. We want to open, we want to become more flexible, but we don't want to be in a state of battle with our bodies, just pushing. So find that gentle balance of effort and ease. If we'd like to open across the front of the right thigh, then we're going to press that right heel into the earth and roll a little bit to the left as that right heel stays anchored. Soften the face, the jaw, the shoulders, everything that you don't need right now. And roll back to center. Relax the legs down, and we're going to grab our strap. So we'll start by looping the middle of the strap around the right foot. Ideally, our strap is long enough that we don't have to hold up here. We can let the backs of our arms rest against the earth so we're not just putting arbitrary tension in our shoulders. And then we'll straighten the left leg. So the right knee can be bent. We definitely don't want to lock it out, and you don't need it to be totally straight. We're just getting a gentle hamstring stretch. So if this is what your gentle hamstring stretch looks like, that's fine. The more we press that right heel upward, flexing the foot, the deeper the stretch will be. The more we pull in on that strap, bringing the leg closer to the chest, the deeper the stretch will be. Find your stretch, that place where you're gently inviting your body to open without forcing or pushing or creating instability. If your leg is really resistant to the stretch, if you've got a lot of tension, it can help to just move the foot side to side a little bit. We're just distracting the muscle. So just a small side to side movement, side to side, backing out of the stretch just a little bit with that side to side movement, and then slowly getting still again, deepening that stretch, seeing if maybe we can take it just a little farther with greater comfort. Take one more breath here. And then we'll back out of that stretch just a little. And we're going to drop the right leg open to the right side of the body, keeping the left hip anchored down. So this is where that pelvic stability is so helpful. And those low belly muscles are going to help us to keep the left hip from popping up as the right leg comes out for an inner thigh stretch. And we'll take a big inhale, and then on the exhale, bring that leg back up to center and slowly begin inching it across the body toward the left side. Now, if you keep your right hip really anchored to the earth, you won't have to go very far here before you're going to feel something kind of special and magical happening on the outside of your right leg. So you're probably going to start hearing some feedback from your IT band, which connects the knee to the hip, or maybe on the lower leg on the outside. So again, we're finding that spot where there's a stretch, but there's no pain. Where we're gently opening. If you need to go farther, if it's not working to keep that right hip rooted and get your stretch, you can go farther. You can even take the leg all the way across for more of a reclined twist. If you do that, just listen to what your low back is having to say about it. So if it's too much, again, we back out. Wherever you are, notice the sensations in your body. Befriend the sensations in your body. Breathe into the sensations in your body. When you're ready, let the leg come back up to center. Bring the strap off. Plant both feet, knees are bent, and just kind of windshield wiper the legs side to side as much as feels good. Maybe kind of shake that right leg out if it needs a little shaking. And then we'll take the strap around the other foot. Same thing on this side. So again, if possible, let the triceps rest against the earth so we're not building up tension in the shoulders. We'll start with this hamstring stretch. Inviting the back of the left leg to lengthen and open. Maybe pressing the left heel up toward the sky, flexing the left foot to deepen the stretch. Maybe bending the knee to back out of the stretch a little bit if we need to. The more we pull in with that strap, the deeper the stretch. Maybe our muscle needs a little distracting from the intensity, so then we can just take this leg side to side. Your right leg, by the way, it can be straight or bent, so if one works better for you than the other, do what you like best. When our muscle is nice and distracted, maybe we deepen that stretch a little bit again, playing, exploring, seeing what feels good. Breathe in and out. Finding that balance of effort and ease. And you know, the balance that our bodies need changes from day to day and minute to minute. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in long haul COVID, our bodies need less effort and more ease. So be gentle. When you're ready, take a big inhale. Exhale, let that left leg fall open to the side. Thinking about rooting the right hip down, engaging the abdominal muscles so that the pelvis is stable, the low belly is stable. We're not just flopping over to the left. When you're ready, take a big inhale. Exhale, back up. And we'll begin inching over to the other side, finding the IT band or any other stretchy spots on the outside of that left leg. Again, the more anchored this left hip is to the earth, the less we have to move the leg to feel a deep stretch. As we lose some of that stability and the left hip pops up, we're going to have to go farther to get a stretch. It doesn't mean it's bad to let it pop up, but notice there's more than one way to increase intensity. Find what's working for your body. Maybe pausing here to hear the sound of your breath as it flows in and out. Pausing to notice which parts of your body are connected to the earth below you right now. Notice where the weight is sinking down most into the ground. When you're ready, let the leg rise back up to center. Release the strap. We'll windshield wiper those legs if it feels good. We'll take a full body stretch, reaching from fingertips to toes, getting as long as you can. And then we're going to roll onto our stomachs for one little chest opener here. So we'll plant the forearms against the earth, and they are forearms distance apart. So you can grab one elbow with one hand and vice versa. And we'll think about using the hands, the elbows, the forearms to pull the heart forward. So the low belly engages softly and lifts as the heart lifts, the chest lifts. Breathe here. Let the head drop to one side and then the other. Let it look to one side and then the other. Inviting tension to softly release from the neck. And then you can stay right here, or if you'd like a little more opening across the front of the chest, we'll just take the hands to the outside of your towel or mat, wherever you are. Come up onto the fingertips. Inhale, peel the spine upward. Peel the heart upward. Exhale, lower down. Try that 2 more times. Lifting up and down. And once more. And when you come down, let the left shoulder and left ear come down as both elbows point upward. Breathe here. And then lift just a little bit so that you can shift, letting the right shoulder and right ear come toward the mat. Elbows still pointing upward. Inhale, come down. Find your way back into that Sphinx pose, unless you stayed there the whole time. Then you're ahead of us. Again, the head moves side to side, letting the head be heavy, letting the neck grow soft, inviting the tension to spill out and down. And then we're going to roll over onto the back or into any position that you prefer for Shavasana. So if it's comfortable to lie flat on the back, go for it. If you'd rather be on your side or somewhere else, that's okay too. So start by noticing the shoulders and the chest. We just opened them, so we don't want them hunched here. Invite the shoulder blades to come together and the shoulders to roll under the body a little bit so that the heart is open. And then notice if you can kind of wiggle your hips to create a little more space in the back. Can you scoot your feet down to lengthen the legs? Make any adjustments that feel good here. Letting the palms fall open, the feet fall open, the eyes fall shut. And we'll take a gentle scan of the body, starting at the feet. Give the toes a little wiggle. Maybe remembering that at the beginning of our practice today, we wiggled our ankles and our wrists. Wiggle those toes. Maybe wiggle the ankles. And then invite them to be still. And feel them just grow heavy. And invite that heaviness and that stillness to travel upward through the lower legs, across the kneecaps and into the thighs. Feel the pelvis and the butt sinking into the support of the earth, settling. Let the belly be soft. And allow that softness to spill upward into the chest the shoulders, the back, the neck. Feel the hands, the arms relax. Invite your jaw to relax, your tongue to relax, the muscles around the eyes to let go. Bring that letting go up to the scalp, letting your head release all the way to its tippy top. And finally, let that releasing settle into your mind. Thoughts may come, and when they do, let them go. Knowing that if something's important, you can pick it up later. As thoughts flow through, notice the spaces between and around them. And notice their movement as they drift in and out. Notice the stillness of your body and the constant reassuring movement of your breath. Cradled in that stillness and that movement, give yourself a moment here to simply be, staying for as long as you'd like. Don't rush. Don't force yourself upward. Knowing that you can stay even well past the time that this video ends. And for however long you choose to rest and stay, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.